Aloha, beautiful souls. I'm Skyra. I'm a spiritual ascension and embodiment mentor. And today I want to speak to you about suffering and the choices that we have. We can choose to suffer, or we can choose to change our perception of our suffering. I'm going to tell you that it's taken me many years to get to this understanding. It's taken a good 5 years of deep inner healing work, overcoming many traumas, addictions in the process to understand and get to this perception. That's only my journey, because we all carry different experiences, different abilities and consciousness levels when we come into this earth of what our soul already knows and what it doesn't understand. Most of us come in to this earth in complete amnesia. So our life experiences are basically for us to choose how we want to live. If we want to choose to live in a place of complete illusion and delusion, or if we want to live in a place of reality and remembering who we are on a soul level. And remember that we are sovereign beings and that we have the power within to create and alter our life. So for myself, and what I plan on doing, I was going to talk about health sovereignty, but I'm just really not feeling anything except for just speaking in the now and the moment, and when I am guided or inspired to share a certain thing on my channel, that's what I'm going to do. It's really going to be in a flow state. However, it will be intentional. And I really feel I have so many life stories that I could probably speak for days about my life experience. So what I want to do today is share a story. I want to share a story about this perception of my latest experience and how I was able to shift this experience pretty quickly. Once I made the decision. See, we don't get to experience where we can see, why did this happen to me, or what did this teach me, or we can't necessarily see the blessings until we make the decision, until we walk through the fear, till we let go, till we walk in a state of, make a decision in a state of courage and trust. We must use discernment in our decisions. For myself, I think one of my very first videos recently was I was at my land in Hawaii, and I purchased this land. I'm going to tell the story just so you guys can understand this is kind of a relation to what I'm speaking about. And I purchased the land at the end of 2019. It was my dream. It was my dream to build a healing community, small, nothing big, and to be able to have people come to do healing immersions. And literally but it was also a choice for myself to move on the land without a structure, to live very primally, living on a platform in a tent while I was clearing the land and building an off-grid cabin for myself. It was a choice. I've made a choice over the last 5 years to leave the matrix system. And sometimes those choices, whatever choice we make, we have to be prepared for the consequences. It's not easy to leave the matrix system. So everything is done by trade or cash. And I don't do loans. So I was doing it slowly through as I was able to get it done or to start. So what was happening though was literally within the first few weeks, I started getting robbed. And I just soon discovered that the land I had purchased had become surrounded in several different locations with meth houses and kind of even a gang. And I'm in Big Island, Hawaii, and it does exist here. Sometimes we just come to Hawaii and we see the beauty, and that's what I saw for many years. I was here since 2019, and I only saw, I had the rose-colored glasses, I only saw the beauty, and I didn't want to see the darkness. And to the extent of the beauty and extent of the light is the deepest aspects of the darkness as well. It's like the duality. So I got to go live in the duality and the darkness in a place that was not aligned. It was not aligned for the lifestyle that I want to live whatsoever. But it required me to make a choice, and it was kind of quite letting, like another experience would be in my past would be to let go of a very toxic or painful relationship. We go into relationships and we go into marriages or whatever with the idea that everything is going to be perfect and it's going to be sometimes even that we can change that person. We go into relationships and that never works. Never works unless the other person is willing to change. So in the relationship of land, I was once I started getting robbed, I was like, okay, I can fix this. I can put gates up and but there were certain things that I wasn't willing to do. Because I wasn't willing to get guard dogs, and I wasn't willing to live in a space that feels like a war zone. And the process of letting go and the process of becoming disattached to this dream that I thought was my path on a very, very, deep level. I became attached to the land from working on it. And so sometimes, and then what happened, and I thought I was over my fears. I've been through seriously so much in life that I thought that there was no really fear. And we all have fear. And if we deny that fact, we're lying. Because it becomes a place where we're human. We're human. We're all going to experience these emotions, but we can shift them. Once we understand how to shift our perception, then we can shift our reality really quickly. And we might not like it. We might not like what has to happen in the in-between time, but when we can step out to release ourselves from the suffering and allow better energy to come into our field, we must find gratitude. Gratitude is another, if we don't find gratitude in the now, in our every situation, we will never change our perception. So what was required of me, because I had sunk all my resources into the land several times, because I kept taking my stuff and I would replace it, and then I finally just I'm not feeding this system anymore. I'm not feeding this dysfunction. And it's just like a relationship. I'm not feeding this dysfunction. I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing self-love, and I'm going to leave this because I can't change the other person, but I can change myself. And it was a very deep lesson for me because sometimes I didn't see land as a relationship, but it truly is, because everything around us is part of us. Everything around is a relationship to us. And it's whatever we choose, whatever who we choose to hang around, everything is a relationship, nature. So in order to do this, I had to leave the land, and I had to go back in my van, which I've been doing off and on now for the last few years to save money to buy the land and build this place. And I've learned to live this way. And I was like, and for whatever reason, because I had achieved buying the land, that I thought I was going to step back I was going backwards. In some ways I was, and this is the beauty. In some ways I was going back. However, I've, on a deeper level, have learned to trust and to learn to flow, and have learned that no matter our situation, that we can find gratitude. And the blessings that have come from this is freaking unbelievable. Like the understanding of trust and the gifts I'm given every day, the things that I was missing being out in the land that I'm getting today is like incredible. I never experienced Hawaii from my van, except for going out to the beach. And so in the mornings I wake up to these beautiful beachfront property. It's just, I get to be close to nature still. I'm meeting amazing people coming into who are just fascinated with the way that I'm living. And I get to talk to people, and I get to experience life. Whereas when I was on my land, I was isolated, and I was not sharing my gifts. I wasn't sharing my light. I was hiding it. So it doesn't matter. Whatever, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't, when you can learn to not judge yourself and not allow others to judge you, because some people can look at me in my van and be like, oh, that poor girl, she's living in her van, poor woman, and then some people will have asked, like I've had people ask me, do you do drugs? And I'm like, no, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, this just happened, and you know what, I'm okay. And it's, I want to bring up this is not bypassing, believe me, because we need to feel all the range of emotions. And I've went for nearly 6 months of deep anger and rage of what I was experiencing, and almost at an anger of God, that didn't you put me here? And I realized I did this because God's within me. I was the one we have the choice we have a decisions. We embody the God and within us. So when we can understand that and realize that we have free will, I chose, and we can't control what's happening on the outside of us. Look what's happening in the world. But we can choose to change our perception, find gratitude, and look for where we can put good out in the world, and where we can use our gifts, and trust deeply that we're taken care of. And I'm writing a book, and I can't wait to share it with you, about the miracles that I've experienced since in my life since 2015, little pieces and bits that I just get, and then I go back into my place of my mind, and that my ego, where it's supposed to be my way, and when we can get out of that and move into our heart and trust and courage, then everything changes. So I don't know if anybody got anything out of that today. That is what I wanted to share. I am going to be holding a webinar or a immersion on 11/22/22 at 11:11 a.m. Hawaii time. And I'm inviting you to attend if you'd like to attend. If you would like to, we need to fill out the link in the comment. In the place that you put the description of the videos. I'll put a link, and you can just register to get the information, and I'll send out the links to whoever's on my mailing list right before it happens. I'm going to be speaking about life force energy and how we were able to support ourselves and our body, and to be able to open up our energy centers to be able to support these types of perceptions so that we can get back into our heart and back into our body, our spiritual body, because I think that's what we're missing. We're missing the spiritual aspects. We're doing all these practices and we're doing but we're just not realizing our sovereignty within. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you again soon. Aloha.